If everyone were aware of the conclusion you just reached, I think many people would live much happier because we are constantly on the hamster wheel thinking there will be a moment when we will never need to work again. And there will be a moment when we will never need to run to stay in shape or diet. That is, go through a path of discipline to be able to feel good. I would like to ask you why you do what you do, because you are already retired from your profession as a surgeon, but he is still active. He is here doing an interview with us when he could perfectly well be taking a walk in the park, resting, as some might say, and doing nothing, which is also fine, right? Why does he decide to do what he does and stay active despite being able to afford to rest?
Look, when I retired, and then I joined the board of the medical association, the first thing I did was change my section, the one I preside over. I have the honor of presiding over. It was the section of retired doctors. The first thing I did was change the name from retired to senior. Now, a word is very much in fashion, I suppose you will remember it, which is ageism. Ageism is the connotation or the assessment that society makes of a retired person. Society sees them as someone who no longer works, doesn't produce, isn't up to date, is a burden. In other words, it has completely negative connotations. And I consider this to be completely absurd. I consider myself to be, and I am a doctor, and will be a doctor until the last day of my life. Therefore, I changed the word retired to senior, although I face great opposition, but in the end I won, because they say it is a false Anglicism. The word senior, its origin is Latin, is a word that it originated in Latin, it's not an Anglicism. But senior means that it's a person who maintains their professional status. I am a doctor and will continue to be a doctor and will always be a doctor. I can work or not work, but that I am up to date and that I am therefore potentially active. Therefore, I believe that reaching retirement, it is an administrative act that evidently changes our objectives in an important way, especially if one works alone, in the specific case of medicine, in public medicine, because then retirement is mandatory, abrupt, and on a specific date as mandated by the administration. When it is private medicine, then retirement is different because it is later, progressive and voluntary, which makes it structured in a much more manageable way than public retirement.